Hi, BookTube. Welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie, and it's time for our Literary Ramblings update. So, as you can see, I am almost done with For Dorian Gray. Because I can't read Roman numerals, I assume there were 22 chapters in this, but actually there are 20 chapters in this book. So, and as you guys know, I've said this before. I think I've imagined I said it because I do practice what I'm gonna say in these videos. But I have read this before. This is my second time reading it, and I think I will be able to actually do a pretty decent review on it. So when I'm done, I don't know if I'm gonna do it this afternoon or. Because I'm almost done with it. I could probably finish it today, so I don't know if I'm going to film it this afternoon or if I'm just going to wait until my next day off, or maybe wait until, because tomorrow I'm getting off at 1:45, so I'll probably be home by like 2:30 tomorrow, depending on my dad's, because he's going to be the one who will probably pick me up tomorrow, so it will depend on, like, if he has a golf date or something. So the downside of not being able to drive is that you have to depend on others. Especially if you lived in like a city, then yeah, you're relying on public transportation, and that's kind of can potentially be a similar situation to relying on other people, because you go by the schedule of the public transport, and it's kind of the same with the relying on depending on other people, whether it's your family members, a significant other, a friend. You are relying on, you're going by their schedule. I mean, I guess you can be like, can you just pick me up by this time? And if they're considerate enough, then they'll try to make sure they'll go by your schedule as well. But, anyway. So, I don't know when I'll get home. It's not like I'm gonna get home late tomorrow, but, there's a chance I might not get home as early as I would like to, right on time. So, get all these eraser threads. I was working on something yesterday, and I was using a one of those separate little eraser thingies, and I have to do a lot of it, and all the, eraser shredded stuff is all over my computer. Okay, so, like I said, I'm almost done with that, and I did start reading Dracula, as you guys saw in my last two updates, and I'm not very far into it. I've gotten to the part when Jonathan Harker has just arrived at Dracula's castle, and everyone keeps warning him, giving, acknowledging him with the sign of the cross, and being like, and the people that he was he was staying with for the night, they were like, you shouldn't go, can you just stay here? And he's like, no, I gotta go. And I don't know who said it, but that someone, it might have been, I want to say her name is Caitlin. I hate it when I think about something about a booktuber said and I mentioned the video, but then I didn't think I had, so I don't have their channel name or their real life name to tell you guys. But I remember, and I don't even know if it's her or not who said it, but I think she's saying she was currently reading this book and liked how, Jonathan Harker is just like, as the reader, we know what's going on, or whether, most of us, even if it's our first time reading it, nowadays people probably know what this is about. Going by the title, because Dracula is a, entertainment media icon, everybody knows, or almost everybody. There's probably people who don't know who Dracula is, but most people know who Dracula is. So we all kind of know what's going on, and meanwhile, Jonathan Harker, she pointed out how Jonathan Harker is just la-di-da-di-da, just going there and, is amused by these people and is weirded out by them and their behavior and doesn't understand and is thinking about it, scientifically. He's like, why are they acting like this? I don't understand. They are being very strange, but I'm still gonna go. he's not even considering the possibility. And even when there's wolves all around him howling and just creeping him out a little bit, he's still in, like, Dracula, the last, the last line I read before I stopped reading, he says his infamous, can you hear, what is it? I actually have it underlined. I actually remember to underline it, so I'm trying to remember to do that more often, because there are times when I want to recall something when I want to talk about a book and I don't remember where it was. Listen to them, the children of the night, what music they make. And my poor half-hearted attempt at a Transylvanian accent. You probably couldn't even tell I was doing one. I was trying to do one. But I mean, they use that. I know that's one of the lines they actually use in adaptation in the adaptation starring Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves. And I did not like Keanu Reeves being cast as Jonathan Harker. I don't know, it just bugged me because he's not a bad actor. I'm not a big fan of him, and so I just don't think, he was that good. I mean, I don't think he's terrible, but that's not who I would want to play Jonathan Harker. Of course, now, if they ever remade it, then, but I don't think there's any point, because the movie was pretty good. That adaptation, which I want to say it was Stanley Kubrick, but I might just be thinking about Stanley Kubrick, because he's the guy who did The Shining, the movie The Shining, which I saw for the first time the other day. I'm glad I watched it. Like, it may not be 100% accurate to the book, and Stephen King hates it profusely. It was still a pretty good horror movie. As Daniel Green says in his video review, comparing the book and the movie. So I'm also going now. So now that I'm done with that, I'm gonna read. I'm still gonna keep going with Dracula, but I know there's no way I'm gonna get this one done, especially since I just started it. And then it's the same thing with Bleak House. I'm only with Bleak House. I'm not even at the halfway point. I'm a pretty good chunk into it, but I'm only on chapter 20 of this one. So there's no way I'll finish it by the end of the month. So I'm focusing, once I'm done with that, yes, I'm going to keep reading both those books, even though I'm not going to finish them by the end of the month. But I'm going to jump into A reread of A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. So I'm doing quite a bit of rereads this year. So I'm going to read this one next, which I think I've already talked about this one. We'll refresh people's memory on what this one is about. It's during the French Revolution. The two cities are London and Paris. And our main central characters, you have Lucy Manette. I think it's Lucy. And she has just released her father from, she's just taken her father home. I think he was in prison or something, and he got broken out by the Defarges. I don't know for sure. And she takes him, but he's, been so isolated that he doesn't know who she is, and he's a little bit, he's not stable at the moment. And that's as far as I've gotten in the book, but I do remember that she meets this guy, Charles, and falls in love with him, and they agree to get married, but he's also kind of involved, I think he's involved in the revolution or something, or he's a traitor to the crown or something. Like I said, it has been a while, but in this case, this one I actually remember really loving, so I'm going to read it again. And I didn't hear. I just got a message from a text message from one of my friends, and I didn't hear the little ding sound. I'm surprised, but I'm going to read it. I like these Barnes & Noble editions. I don't know why. I mean, they're kind of plain looking. There's nothing special. They just have the title and stuff, and they have this border and usually a piece of art in the middle. But I've always been a fan of how each of these books is like a different color. That's what I like. I just recently watched Emmy's video on all the classics that she has in various different editions. She also goes used bookstore shopping, so she has quite a few classics in different assortment of editions. And I remember her saying she's not a big fan of these Barnes and Noble covers, and I comment on her video saying that I kind of like these covers. Because I like I said, I like how they're different. They're all different. Each one has different colors. Like the Pride and Prejudice one is kind of like a pale green color. Wives and Daughters is this bright pink. I have Ivan Illich and Other Stories is the same color as this one, I believe. Dorian Gray is brown. And I actually have another blue one. So once I finally turned around more books, I'm gonna go back to that organization of I think I might go back to the organization of putting together the classics in all the different editions together. Like, all the Barnes & Noble editions that I have, the handful of ones that I have, I'm going to put them together so that their spines match. And then I'm going to put all the ones with these Arcturus, which was another thing. I was pleasantly surprised that Emmy also loves and collects these editions as well. These editions, which I don't know where she lives, if she's in the US or Canada. I want to say she's in Canada, which means I guess maybe this is a Canadian publishing company, Arcturus. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I think that's how she said it too. But I've only seen these at Books A Million, and there's only but I said as I said, okay, I'll talk about that later. So, but this is one I think I'm gonna read next month, by the way, because someone I want to say it was Katie from Books and Things, or Claudia, whose channel name I do not remember. I still don't. It's like I remember it after I'm done filming. Like I'm going through my notifications, I see their channel name. It's like, oh, that's their channel name. But then when I need to remember, unless I make a mental note to look for their channel name, I'm not gonna remember it. I mean, unless I watch their channel so many times and say their name so many times out loud to myself, I won't remember it. I do remember Claudia is her first name. It was either her or Katie from Books and Things had talked about how this book is a good book to read this time of year because it's about a woman who inherits a farm. So she's harvesting like grain, like vegetables and stuff. So it fits the season. So I'm gonna do that. But I'm also going to do the year, don't even think about it. Okay. So I'm probably not going to get Serpent at Dove. I might read it, towards the last week of the month. I might at least start it at the last week of the month. Either way, I want to get it started reading it. It's a YA book, so I could probably potentially get through it quickly. But the last books I'm going to read, it's all these. Get them to stay. You can so I was working on my how I'm gonna, instead of doing a bullet journal, I'm kind of doing like this binder thing. It's kind of like a notebook, but it's in a binder. So it's like, it's kind of set up like how you would do in class, where all of your classes are organized, and I was kind of scribbling away trying to figure out what books I have, going through, because I have a document where all my books are organized. The list of books I have are organized alphabetically. And I have to keep printing that list because I have to, I keep buying books, so it's like I have to keep adding them, and because I have it alphabetically organized, I have to put them in the right spots. I have to keep printing it, and then I also kind of color coded it a little bit. Like the books I just read are in a blue color. The books that I read a long, long time ago are in this light pink color, and the books I'm in the middle of are purple, and then the books I've read more than once are green. Which actually, I just realized there are quite a few books that should be green color. Or well, not a few, but like at least a couple books that I probably should put in the green color. But I also check them off and do like the tally marks if I've read it more than once recently. So, unfortunately, all those elaborate little things that I do, I have to keep reprinting the book. I mean, I don't mind it, but I do waste a lot of ink. Some parents might mind because they have to keep buying me ink. Although I could buy it myself. It's just, I don't drive, so I don't go shopping unless they take me somewhere. So I bring that up because I was going through each letter in the alphabet and decide which letter I have the most book titles that I have not read. So S was 13 books that I have not read. So I decided I need to read an S book, a book that starts with a book title that starts with S. So I went ahead and chose this one because it's not that long, and I could still read it for Victober because George Eliot, Victorian author, and plus there's no way I'm gonna get to middle March. I mean, I had it on my potential TBR when I first started thinking about plans for Victober, but I still have not gotten around to it. I do need to finish that book. Along with Count of Monte Cristo and quite a few others that I've started to read. But I figured this one, it's a short book, so I can get it done in the next 2 months. Because let's face it, October will be over in... Well, actually, wait, no, scratch that. My goal, I said that I wanted to read it for Victober, so I want to read it for October. So it's a book that I can squeeze in for this month. Once I finish, Picture Dorian Gray, which I could finish today, and then A Tale of Two Cities I'm also going to start, and I will probably bring that one to work with me, so I can read during my 15-minute break, and in case my dad doesn't show up right at 1:45 or 1, whatever, I can read that. And I love that my mom thought about when she ended up buying me a new lunchbox because my old one was kind of my first one I bought, it was there was a tear in it, so she got me a new one, and she's thinking about how I bring books with me, so she decided to get, one of the reasons I think she got me the lunch bag that she did was so that I could put books in there that were like this size, or, well, not this size because this is a small book, but like books that are, this size, or this size, So I'll probably read that one, and then I'm still gonna read Bleak House and Dracula, but I know I'm not, like I said in the beginning of this video, I probably will not finish them. But yeah, this is not a long book, so it will fit Victober. It's Victorian literature. And then I also, a non-work of Victorian literature that I want to read, that is a bit of a haunted house. That's a haunted house story, is The Haunting of Hill House. I've been wanting to read that. I was saving it for this month. So I'm going to do this. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and start and read this book. Because I wanted to read spooky literature as well as, that's why I read The Dark Monk, even though that's not super spooky. It's more of a mystery, suspense, kind of thriller type story. Although I feel like it is a bit claustrophobic and you don't know what's going to happen to our characters. Although I think they have plot armor and that they're, that they're not going to die. But, yeah, because there were religious zealots in that book. And those people can get a little crazy. At least in the world of fiction. I don't know if there's religious zealots in real life. Although the closest I think we get to religious zealot is when people push on, will give you like pamphlets or something to talk about, are you in communication with God, and like bad weather is coming, you need to, pray and stuff, which is not, I do believe in God and stuff, but sometimes when those people give me that pamphlet, I feel very uncomfortable, and it's like, yes, I believe in God and everything, and but I don't want you to get all preachy with me about it, But anyway, my video is not about that. This is my personal opinion on it. If any of you guys, are people who have more, I hope I don't offend anyone with that opinion, because I do believe in God. I'm just not, like, in people's, I'm not, like, really pushing it on people. Because I don't, like, and I'm not actively, I'm not super active about it. So I don't, So I don't even know I can't even remember why I brought that up. But, like I said, I'm saving this for October, so I want to read it. The actual book that the movie The Haunting was based on. And I know there's the Netflix series that was inspired by it, although it's loosely based on it. So I want to read this one as well. And I'm probably saying a lot of things I've already said before. I just realized that as I'm making these videos, that, like, it's not like I'm saying anything new. And then I do want to try to get to reading at least some of the stories from this collection. Of course, the difference between this, the omnibus collection or anthology or whatever you want to call it, of Fitzgerald short stories, is a paperback. This one's a hardback. I like how it has deckled edges. I'm one of those people who does like deckled edges. I get why why a lot of people don't like them, but I'm a personal fan because it looks so vintage and retro. But yeah, this is small, so it's not as comfortable to read, but I am going to, but I do want to still read some of the stories, because I don't want this to go to waste. I don't want this to just be on the shelf for looks. And I think that, since I've been exposed to the character enough, I could probably read A Study in Scarlet and be fine, because I know Katie from Books and Things said that if you're new to Sherlock Holmes, you probably don't want to start with studying A Study in Scarlet, because the way the story goes, like, it's almost, she was saying, I think she was the one, she was saying, don't take my word for it, but that it feels like it's a whole nother story, the second part of that short story. Again, I could be wrong, I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm one of those people who remember things that people say, but then they might not remember it, and then it's like, you think, did that person actually say that? Am I wrong? Maybe they didn't say that. Maybe I'm misremembering it. And it's because, it's so long ago, that, like, it's kind of annoying, because it's like, I remember them saying that, but then I end up questioning myself because they don't remember saying it. But I'm going to read a few of the short stories, and I think I'm probably going to do, like, what I did. Oh, I already started it. Crap. Okay, so I gotta decide. Do I want to go right into chapter 2 or start from the beginning? Because the problem, I think I might want to go and just start reading chapter 2, which is where I'm at, because I do this all the time, where I will start a book, and then also I'm not in the mood for it, and then it'll be a long time before I come back to it again. So this is for Victorian, even though this is for October, so this is like probably the only mystery that I will read regular, that I'm actually excited to read. Like the other type of mystery books, today's mysteries, well, I should say, okay, let me erase that and start over. Okay, so this is probably the only detective type story, along with Agatha Christie's detective stories, that I will read regularly. But modern detective stories kind of bore me because then they get into all the CSI type stuff, like all the technical stuff and the science behind it and everything, and I'm like, I don't care. This is boring to me. That's why I never got into like CSI or Law and Order or anything. And like the fact that's always on in the break room. Even though it's not like I'm gonna sit down and watch it and I want to read my book for those 15 minutes. Even actually probably even less than that because it still takes me a couple minutes to get back there. And then a lot of times I have to go use the restroom and stuff like that. So I really do have less than 15 minutes to just get my reading done. But it's still kind of annoying when I go in there and it's like they always have like sports, the news, or crime shows. It's like, I don't care. Can't we have it on something else? But I also don't want to change the channel either because I feel, I'm not the only one in there. There's a lot of times although there are times when I am the only one in there, and I'm also trying to, like, read a book, too. So, yeah, so, anyway. Okay, so the last thing I want to read is, again, another for Spooky-tober, for Spooky, and that is, ooh, I should call it Spooky-tober. Sounds like the name of a dog. But, Spooky-tober, that's what I'm gonna call it now. Spooky-tober is gonna be my, but, I've been keep meaning to read this book, which is essentially, about, okay, so a few years ago, many years ago actually, we visited California. I think it was around the time my parents had one of their high school reunions. They have high school reunions all over the United States because they went to school overseas. So whoever's hosting the reunion, the high school reunion, wherever they live, that's where their reunion will be. So it was in California. It's been in California a couple times. So one year we got to go, and I think it was California. Is this California? Let me see. Is it? I think it is California. California. I don't know. For some reason, I'm wondering, is it in Colorado? But I think the oh no, I can't say it. Coronada. Is it Coronada? Yeah, Coronada. The Hotel Del Coronada is in California, and this is about a famous ghost who haunts that hotel, Kate Morgan. And this is her kind of backstory and how she became to be so famous and stuff, and what her story is. So I wanted to read this one as well. I've been meaning to. This is well, this particular one, this book is about her last visit to the Del Coronado Hotel. Yep, Coronado, California. I don't know why I was also thinking, was this Colorado? I guess because of the Coronado. I don't know. I think Colorado. I don't know, but this was her last visit in 1892, and like I said, why she haunts it today. So I want to read this. I've been meaning to read this. So I've had this book for quite a while now. So I've been meaning to read it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of ghost stories. First, I love the backstories of the ghost, and just that idea that they're a ghost, like haunting, like following us around. I mean, I don't know if I would want to encounter a ghost, and I do not want to live. I love this movie, Rose Red, but I do not want to live. I don't want to spend a weekend in that house, the Rose Red house, if it was real. I would think, although I think it'd be cool to visit the Winchester Mystery House. That would be so cool to visit there one year. Of course, I would be holding the hand of someone I would not want to go by myself, and I would be holding that person's hand and squeezing it to death if I had to. Because I would be so creeped out. But I also want to visit it. I would love to go see it. A real haunted house, not just the haunted things that people set up every year for Halloween. Like, I want to go visit a real haunted house. I think that'd be so cool. And if there really are ghosts, they would also be incredibly creepy and nerve-wracking. Okay, so that's what's going on with my reading, and I think, like I said, I'm almost done with this one, so I'm probably gonna I think I can actually do a good review on this. And then I'm going to read I want to read a little bit of Tale of Two Cities today, because part of my problem is whenever I pick a book to read in bed, I end up falling asleep, so I only get like a few pages into the book. So I think I need to, I got pretty far, and I'm almost on chapter 16 of Dorian Gray. So, which, so I got pretty far into it. I got enough energy to get quite a few pages read of that one, too, but then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'll just finish it tomorrow. I'll just finish the rest of it. Okay, why did that happen? I just got a notification that my friend texted me, but when Therese responded earlier to my birthday wishes, because her birthday's today, I didn't hear the ding when she messaged me, but I just heard the ding just now, and you guys probably heard it too. So when Larissa messaged me, so that's weird. But anyway, oh, by the way, this is the closest to, actually, you know what, I should probably do, if I can get it. Probably do that. Yeah, that looks more Victorian. So this is the closest to Victorian I got, is this shirt. I know that there's like a Victober, there's a prompt, a challenge, where you wear something close to Victorian, a Victorian wardrobe. And there's some of the physical challenges I wish I could do, but I can't. It's kind of hard for me to do because, like this, like I said, this is the closest to Victorian, and I'm wearing jeans, but I figure you guys can't see the jeans, so, but there's, and I didn't, last year they had the read by candlelight, but then I would have to be I would probably have to read downstairs. I could not read in my room because my mom's worried I'm gonna burn down my room, I'm gonna set fire in my room if I have a candle, and I cannot blow it out. I have trouble blowing out candles for some reason. I end up spitting on them instead. So I couldn't do that challenge last year. And then the other challenge, there was another part of the challenge. Well, I know I cannot do Lucy's challenge because I don't have any Victorian literature I don't have any, letters from the Victorian era. I mean, I could probably find them on the internet, but I'm not going to worry about that challenge. I'm not worried about that. And then I'm trying to, and like I said, this is the closest to the challenge of wearing something that has to do with the Victorian era that I got, so. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go. Like I said, the next time you guys see me will probably be the review of this book. And I might start filming it this afternoon. I will see how I feel, because the thing is, when I upload videos, I end up playing this video over, and I hate listening to myself, so I end up playing someone else's video, booktube video, while my video is playing. So it ends up taking me some time to upload a video, and then I end up going to turn on the TV and, drowning out my own voice. But, I mean, I only, like I said, I have 5 chapters, I believe, to go. So, chapter 16, 17, 18, 19, yep, 5 chapters to go. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, to read, and then I will be done, and I could potentially get it done by the end of by today, this afternoon, because, well, the chapters aren't very long. Like, I love how the chapters are not that long. Like, the problem with the dark, one of my issues with the dark monk and the hangman's daughter is that it had 16 chapters, but the chapters were kind of long. And although the book was very thrilling and exciting throughout most of the book, but at the same time, my mind wasn't 100% on it. My mind was, I wanted to read Victorian literature, but I wanted to read that book also, read The Dark Monk, and finish it so I could get the third book, and which is The Beggar King. Those are the only ones I have, and as I said in the last video update, I think I said it, unless I just said it while I was practicing, that I'm going to get the rest of the series from the library, because that's where I first saw the series. And at the time I did not realize that. You should probably read it in order, because it is a series. I mean, each book is about a different case, but there's information about the characters, and there's an arc in the plot, a part of the plot that is introduced in the first book, and there's aspects of it that are introduced in the first book, so it's like, you kind of, you can potentially get away with not reading them in order, but I think, you should consider, it's one of those series that you probably should read, because it's the same character throughout. It's not like a companion series where, it's different characters each time. It's a series where, each book has a different case each time, but again, there's information that you get starting in the first book about the characters and their personal lives that, you want to read in order to understand it. But, so, after The Beggar King, I'm gonna read, see if the Poison something, it was Poison something is the book after The Beggar King, and then The Wolf of Bambridge. I'm gonna read that. That was the first book I ever read of this series. I never finished it. I just could not get into it, and I think it's partly because I started that series. I thought I could get away with reading that one, because for some reason I was more interested in that kind of plot than the witch thing of the first book. I'm assuming they have all the books in the series. I mean, it's an old series, so, I mean, not super old, but old. So, I think they have, I think they have all the books in the series. So, I'm gonna read the rest of the, once I've read The Beggar King, then I'll start doing that. Okay. So, that is my literary ramblings update. If you guys like this video, be sure to give this a thumbs up, click subscribe and click the bell notification below if you want to see when I post new videos. If you are staying safe and doing your part, and I will talk to y'all later.